Okay, would like to open the meeting for the City of Westfield Finance Committee for June 24th. Motion to open the meeting.
Motion made.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Fair
Thanks,
enough.
John, for coming. So,
The least I could do. Thank you, Misha.
we have the pledge in here, but we usually don't do the pledge. I guess we missed that as a,
I didn't see that.
well, actually, I opened the city council
You
meeting
opened the
agenda.
city council meeting. Yeah, we just have approval for minutes.
Okay, so let's go to that. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from May 28th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. John, next item on the agenda is the 2025 budget update and schedule update. Any changes or updated timelines? I know the first deadline was extended in a week for the directors to kind of compile their 2024 budget with I guess it was a decrease and then their wish list.
Yeah,
Has everyone submitted theirs?
they have all been updated. I do not believe Danielle has gotten through all of them yet. So that was the only real change. We're working on a couple other things, but nothing materially that will affect the timeline at this point that I'm aware of.
Do you know what the next steps are as far as Daniel reviewing and then kind of
It's the
internal
next step
meetings?
is really getting in front of Danielle, through Danielle, and then getting in front of the mayor and getting his immediate feedback. Everybody will then regroup and we should be ready to have some meetings with this group.
Okay. From the counselor's budget, we've circulated it individually. They've been circulating them back to me and I've been compiling some of the notes, so.
Okay.
Waiting for a few more responses on that, but once we have that, we'll get together.
And you have access, or you need access to the?
Danielle sent us access
Got
to
it.
it.
Okay, perfect.
So we do have
All right.
that. We're talking internally, or not individually sending stuff around and having communication, so, yep.
Good.
Anything else on the budget you wanna update us on, or?
No, actually, it's really moved pretty well. And the only thing I would add at this point is that it is a little bit more time consuming than this first go round will be.
Yeah.
Right?
Which with
Because-
any new administration, it's
Yeah,
gonna be that
exactly.
way.
So
Plus-
I mean, that's
Plus with the
just,
implementation of some of the zero-based
I just want to
budgeting
set the
practices.
expectations for the room. It's just a little bit more time consuming.
Yeah, that's understandable though.
Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll
Nope.
move on to the appropriations reports. And Misha, is there anything you want to share?
Yeah, as you maybe see, May monthly reports and concern, I mean, this is a May end of report. Any additional budget was adjustment done in the June 1st. So that budgets, additional budgets is not reflected in this fund report, any appropriation reports. As of June 1st, we completed. So it's just to let you know that. And you can look at the January is a negative, as you know, we had a lot of investment went up. So that's the reason is, and end of the year, we will be putting back to cover up the negative. Meanwhile, every year, we just move it to the investment. So that's the reason you have a negative amount of general fund right there. And anything is fund reports, the only thing you are concerned negative, we are very, anything you're looking at every month, we are watching for any negative balance. There was one is a negative balance, as you maybe noticed, and it's a grants accounts. It's a community crossing grants. It's right now negative because we have a grants money, but as you know, public work ongoing project. So they are until they finished. If it's a negative amount, they will move it to the 201 MBH or 202, whatever proper overspending. They will be moved. Right now, it's an ongoing project. I think they leave a negative until this finished project. I think that's the public work. It's grant account is always we leave a negative until project is completed.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I see, unless you see we don't see any negative balance in the fund, any fund reports.
You answered about 3 questions I was gonna ask. One was
Oh,
the
I'm
money
sorry.
moved over. No, that the money was moved over, the investments, and then the one negative account. And I think you answered all 3 of those questions.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So we just handle that community crossing grant just that way
When
because
it's
it's a
we
public
will,
works
yeah.
project?
Well, I will usually contact with Jonathan there, time to time, how much going, and that's when it's a project finished, there will be a stage will ask when it's completed, then we have to move that negative balance to it.
Okay. One question.
Bishop, for your information, I did sign that letter a little while ago with David Brock for the grant coming from the Hamilton County Tourism.
Yes, so we have to try to give it to.
$478,000, so that's been taken care of, so you should be able to accept the funds now.
Oh, yes, so we have today asking for, just got an email from Marla, so they want the bank information and they want to be W-9. There was this community, it's a redeveloper commission, but it's we have to give a city of Westfield W-9. They're asking our W-9. The W-9 is not gonna be shown as a redevelop the commission, okay? So it's gonna be showing as city of Westfield. So that will be, I will make sure clear that.
Just let Marla know, because she was
Yeah.
waiting for that signature on my part. to
Yes,
get
I will make sure.
the other 2 signatures on that document.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. May appropriation summary.
Yeah, that is, you can look at
It looks like all of the departments or different
Right, it's,
appropriation lines are doing pretty good. They're all pretty well within target. We do have the one major negative, and that's because of the investments are moving money out.
right, it's also, this is not reflected as additional appropriation. We put it in June 1st. So anything negative balance pretty much covered after June 1st, the additional appropriation, we just put it in. So it will be
So the
covered.
end of next month. then
Next month,
everything
you
will
will be double check.
Yeah, you'll have all the additional appropriations in
Yes,
every
sir.
line.
Except that, remember 2 or 3, fire department, one line was missing. There's a hazmat. There was
Okay.
not, there was,
Yes,
Okay.
okay. And Rob is where?
I told Marla about it, she must have communicated with
Okay.
them.
Any other questions on the appropriation summary?
No.
Okay. May,
Oh, I have a question, they have a council, since the council in here, I was thinking about, the council legal service is no budget at this year. They have a $577.50 is that they are charged. So you would need to consider
An
move to
additional
another,
appropriation
or
or moving
additional,
dollars, yeah.
that one part. And that just in case I brought a copy of a invoice, there was a last year, actually December service.
Well, December service
We had the invoice doesn't come to until January.
until the first
Yeah,
year.
Poindexter's invoice.
In Poindexter, okay.
Yeah, so
So we paid that though?
we paid January. That's the
Okay,
reason you
good.
have the $577.50. There is you have extra, so you can additional appropriation, or if you wanna have
Okay,
accepting, if you wanna more money to spend, or
okay.
we'll just move that to the one remaining counselor that was on the council last year. We'll just move it to Scott's budget.
yeah.
Or Victor's.
So,
Just saying.
Just saying, yeah. We'll make an additional appropriation for that.
We're gonna have to on a couple different things, so, which is fine.
okay, that's the only thing I have come out for council.
Okay, May revenue summary report. If there's any questions on this after looking through it. Back to you, Patrick.
Well,
That's invoice.
okay, so we still have to pay that.
No, we paid it, but
Paid
it's
it.
just for your
Yes,
reference.
understood. I actually saw Ann last week. Last week, yeah.
revenues are just we have a projector and pretty much we receive it. It's not gonna show again revenue. June settlement, which is we have a yearly that June and September, it's not gonna show big amount. It will be show the June 30th report will be shown.
John, with all this trash service stuff, there's all these late or refunds to people and stuff. When's that gonna kind of?
It'll all kind of taper off as we get farther into the year.
Okay.
I know that she's working really hard right now to try to get a lot of that. But a lot of it's just phone call, just making sure that waste management is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
But it'll taper off.
I just keep seeing those show up every
Yeah,
time. I was like,
and it's
Seems like that's-
frustrating.
yeah.
It's frustrating, and we are gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to draw a line and just say, okay, after this, we're gonna do a write-off, we're gonna do something.
And just for my memory purposes, that contract comes up in 2 years in 2020
I think it's up next year.
next year.
Yeah, in the next year, towards the end of next year. We
Yeah.
have, I've been working with a company out of Texas to try to, they're looking at moving operations to Indiana. So we could get on their short list.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Patrick, do you have any
No, I'm fine.
other questions? Okay. Clerk treasurer's updates from the State Board of Account audit highlights.
Okay, according to model, we had the three things was I even pulled from online. States were comment or they call the comment or writer written about the three things this audit. They have to find something, right? So there was a first one, capital assets. So it was like a $20 million underestimates for 2023. We actually knew capital assets doing it 2024, but it's an audit reflect on 2023. Due to 2023 underestimated, we have a $20 million assets lower because nobody ever done stormwater site. So now we found the stormwater, so we have a $20 million more assets city-wise. But still it's found, so they had to comment on it. So there will be ongoing, but 2024 probably is correct.
What's all included in the stormwater assets? Would that be the small structures, small
Yeah,
bridges, and then
everything, like over $5,000 any equipment, so they will be there. We never really into a stormwater, so this is included, they found every little thing pretty much, so included, so it's all estimates $200 million we actually have citywide.
stormwater assets?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then second one, we found the DWNA, as you always aware, DWNA, we never had a contract. So that kind of thing, we were paying it. 2024 probably paid us still because we don't have a contract, but probably this is the last year we told the resolution resolve the issue. So in 2024, one more year since we paid already services, so we'll be probably coming in one more year, but it's end of the year will be fixed as a, so progress as anything they consider we fixed, they will be completion. So we are address that one. Third one is a MBH. We worked on this, I know, they found it that they want to be MBH always was restricted fund and the strict fund separated all the time. Well, we tried because we created a new fund last audit, 200 to the 201 to 200. We did that, but this year they come back and said that's not good enough because MBH statewide 203. Because the 203, it's 203 citywide. I remember 203 is a fire department,
yeah.
many years, but states comes there, 203 is a MBH restrict fund, have to be named as restrict. So we are working on it. Our software company, Findlay Cook, tried to fix this issue, move 203 to fire department to the MBH restrict fund. So this is a financial issue, so we are working with the software company. But that's what they want. We try to accommodate the state wants, so we're working on it. Hope it will be fixed probably end of this year anyway, so.
So you're gonna move fire to what, 103?
No, 103.
103.
103 tried to fix the 103, but the fire department 203, how long, I know, longest,
That's been that way,
since the very beginning.
I think it's been that way since I've been here.
And they've performed audits before.
Yeah, all that, so we accommodate, they ask
Well,
about it, we did a 200.
As Misha pointed out.
Oh, no,
at the
I'll
very
go back to
beginning,
her first statement.
They have to find something, and so that was an easy one, low hanging fruit.
To your point, yes.
So we tried to accommodate, so we say, okay, we will be fixed again we thought that made a new fund of 200, but that was okay at the time. Not new audit comes, right? So you say everybody, new audit, no, that is not good enough, or you have to come out 2 or 3. So we were working on it. That's 3 things. So they found any financial, you don't see any notes, comments, anything. They didn't find anything. This is a major 3 things that they found.
So John, did this satisfy everything for closing on those bonds?
I think we're good. We've got I've got a document on my desk right now to read through. All that was addressed, and everything they've asked for as far as the assets, whether they're taxable, not taxable, I think we've addressed all that also. So I just gotta get through that document and we'll get it signed back to them, and yes, we should be fine with that refunding of the
Okay.
Grand Park Event Center.
And then as far as the S&P and the bond rating, is that something they'll look out after?
That'll follow this, and then we will put in front of the council.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cover that piece?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, so now that the audits are completed, that has satisfied S&P. They had a list of follow-up questions that we have to get together with John to make sure that we're all in agreement, just basic questions that they always ask, pretty much the same ones that we have already answered. But once they have that, they'll have our rating back by the end of this week, is what we understand. If that happens, we will receive a rating. Our anticipation is that we should be able to maintain the AA plus, and we will still be in position for AAA should we complete the ACPR next year as well. So they do want to see 2 years of the ACPR, but with all of the policies that the city has that weren't necessarily provided to them in the past, that's what's going to probably put us at either a positive outlook or stable outlook to get us in a position to be upgraded. But S&P has all the information. We provided it to them without the city's responses on the findings, and they found that to be appropriate.
And Oscar, just a quick question. So we've done the necessary steps about 2 council meetings ago for an additional private audit to explore that option as well, correct? To move forward as well with S&P.
Yes, so that's a completely different.
That's a different topic. Yeah.
Different topic, but all the steps that were required, which the council had to create a committee. So now that the committee has been created, it will be up to that committee to convene. Once they convene, we can send out the RSP to have people respond. This is something that was brought up before, and obviously when the stable accounts just recently came in, did cash audit. Again, I call it lemonade stand audits because it's all cash in, cash out. There's no accrual. There's no, financial statements. That type of work, the stable accounts charges very minimal amounts. I think it's something like $100 a day. That amount will go up whether the state board of accounts does it, the state board of accounts outsources it, or the city selects an auditor, because you'll have to have professional CPAs conducting the audit. I would probably bet that whomever conducted this cash audit was probably none of them were probably CPAs. So it's completely different type of audit where they're actually looking at risk and they're testing, and it's really more in line with a corporate audit that you would see with a publicly traded company to have fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders. So that will be totally different. This year, they will come back and do an audit for 2023, the State Board of Accounts will. It is not clear to us whether they will be conducting the audit internally or if they're going to outsource it to an accounting firm. It is very typical for them to outsource it, but they could very well have the staff to do it since it's going to be the latter part of the year, and they might be done with all of their other work. So the reason I'm bringing that up is that will give you an indication on how much the State Board of Accounts would potentially charge to do that audit. It's worth asking what the contractual agreement is with the state for them to outsource it, so that you can compare to the cost of outsourcing it and selecting a firm through the committee. Again, it's more about control and controlling your destiny. If you have a contractual agreement with a third party, you get to tell them, we are ready, come and audit us, as opposed to begging the State Board of Accounts, please come and audit us. So there's a vast difference between the two things. And as we saw the hurdles that the mayor had to go through talking to legislators to kind of make the State Board of Accounts come and do this, it just eliminates that process, and it just makes it so that the city says we're ready to be audited, and an auditing firm comes and audits. That auditing firm doesn't mean that while they are working for the city, they're still independent. They're still subject to peer review, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to that they're not going to be any findings. They're likely going to have findings. There's likely still to be some friction back and forth because they're auditors at the end of the day. But the control is we get to control the quality of the individuals that they send. They're not just sending recent graduates, and the city has the right that if they feel like they were unfair, unreasonable, or just incompetent, if you could fire them and select somebody else, where you can't do that if it's under the State Board of Accounts control.
Hey, Oscar, could you also walk them through the overall strategy, just as a reminder of how we're approaching the whether it's property tax, a property tax rating versus a local income tax rating, and then also why the GO bond is important.
So two different things. So every revenue of the city has its own rating. A local income tax rating is usually one notch below the general obligation. Sometimes it's at par if the coverage is strong enough, but we feel that in this situation, the city is likely one notch below the general obligation rate. The general obligation strategy is primarily in order to maintain the tax rate. That is something that early on we started discussing around maintaining the tax rate, because the city can't generate additional revenues. They can only grow the formula by the non-farm tax income or a state mandate, which currently is 4%. And while the city is eligible for levy appeals, and it will be eligible for a levy appeal, considering the fact that there was some legislature that was proposed and it failed. Under the current legislative structure, the city will be eligible for a levy appeal. And even if the levy appeal is granted, there's still room to maintain the tax rate flat which allows us to issue a general obligation bond to take care of some of the capital needs of the city.
To fill that delta.
Fill that gap.
Yeah. Thanks, Oscar.
Is that what you were looking for?
That was what I was looking for.
Yeah, thanks for the refresher on that, appreciate it. Okay. I did have one question. Oscar, in regards to the AAA rating, from kind of what I heard, we'll have to go back, they'll have to do 2 years of the ACFR. So basically probably wouldn't be eligible for the AAA bond rating until probably going into 2026.
2025. So we'll have one this year. So we'll have a gap audit this year for 2023, and we'll have the second one next year. So in 2025, we'll be getting audited for 2024, and that will be our second audit. And they said that they wanted to see at least 2 of them before they check the box on that. So next year, once we have completed the ACFR, we should get the points. Now, it's a point system. Think of it like a GPA. And just like our GPA can go up in math, it could go down in science. So we have to watch all of the thresholds like liquidity, budgetary performance. If we are spending more money than revenues, they will allow you to do that as long as they're one-time expenses. What they will not shoot down is if it's not a one-time expense. For example, let's say you guys decide to hire 20 firefighters, but your budget can't support it. If you do something like that, then that score would go down, and it would offset the score going up from the ACFR. So it is not a flat line. You do this, you get it. You know, there's 5 different scoring criteria, and the assumption is should the other 4 be maintained, next year we should be able to attain it.
Okay.
So it'll be really important, right, Oscar, once we get the act back for the 2023, we use it as a springboard to make the corrections for the 2024.
Yeah, and you know, I'm happy to geek out with any member of this committee. When you look at the ACFR, and obviously you have your statement of cash flows on an accrual basis, that is what they're going to look at for expenditures. And if it's trending negative, we have to work with the administration to figure out what was purchased or what was spent that was material in nature to make that potentially go back. And you know, a lot of times is, you know, you bought 2 engines or you paid cash to do some kind of project because you were cash flush. Whatever it may be, as long as it is a sustainable one-time expense, they don't penalize you for things like that. But again, I with everything happening right now, I just want to make sure that I caution everybody that we have to watch revenues and expenditures to ensure that we're still running a balanced or surplus ongoing budget. It's okay to spend down cash, assuming it's for a one-time expense and not necessarily for something that is not supported by revenues. That's all.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Any other questions on the State Board of Accounts?
No?
Okay, hearing none, make a motion to close this meeting.
Aye.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. You gotta be quicker.
Yeah.